Hey, you know what? I have an issue. Let me talk about resellers for a second. This is something that I don't want to go into too much detail about, but if you're a reseller, can you just stop? Can you please calm your tits, go home, see your kids, give them a hug, go take your grandma out to dinner or something, and just stop buying up every cool thing that we get in just magnitudes and volumes of just stupid amounts and then selling them online. Or if this is the worst kind, if you're watching this right now and you've made an eBay or Craigslist posting already for the Super Nintendo, go ahead and unsubscribe, because that shit pisses me off. I already see on eBay too many listings for the Super Nintendo Classic Mini whatever the hell. Reselling it already. Yes, I said reselling it. You heard me correctly. Reselling something that isn't even out yet. How does that make sense? Also, in eBay's laws and rules and whatever, I don't know what I'm saying. It says that you can't list and sell something unless it's within 30 days of that thing coming out. And we are not within 30 days. So why are there all these listings for the Mini NES Classic Mini NES, SNES, Classic Mini SNES? Why is that already up there? Why is it already being sold? Why 500? This is ridiculous. This thing's only selling for $250. It's not even out yet. Who do you think's gonna pay 500 for it? This is a rant that I could go on for a long freaking time. I'm not picking up a Super Nintendo Classic in North America, and there's a lot of reasons for that. And honestly, it's not about the resellers. But, well, I mean, maybe it is, because I don't know the future. Maybe I will not be able to get one because of the resellers. So thank you. I'll get to it. When this was announced to be coming out in the fall of 2016, the Mini NES Classic Edition, so many of us got excited because it was just a miniature version of our childhoods. Just symbolic of everything we love in this. I don't know what I'm saying. We got excited because we wanted to pick this up. $60 to relive our childhoods, to go down to the store, pick up a little miniature version of something that just we played with our kids, or we played with our cousins. We couldn't wait to go to Best Buy, pick one of these up, go home and sit down little Julie, sit down little Natalie, 6-year-old Natalie, and be like, Natalie, Super Mario Brothers, I played this when I was a kid and now I want you to play it, and I went out today and I bought this for you, and I just want you to live the childhood that I lived. How many of you wanted to do that but couldn't because a reseller went out and bought 17 from the Best Buy near you so you couldn't buy one? How many, if you're a reseller out there right now, how many memories do you think you took away from people by buying like 20 of these? It does upset me, like it honestly does. Like I know I'm trying to be funny and have a bit of a goof and a gaff here, but honestly it does upset me to think that there's even one dad out there that wanted to buy this and take home to play with his daughter and relive that, and he still can't get his hands on it. Frustrates me to all end. I couldn't get my hands on it. I had this gifted to me from a friend at a bar randomly about 2 months ago, but I had reserved myself to the fact that I wasn't going to get one because they were completely sold out and they're over $250, and unless you're a hardcore Nintendo collector, you're not buying one of these at this point. It's stupid. And I guess that's my little rant on resellers. I just needed to get that out there. I just think it's stupid. And one thing in Nintendo's defense, and then one thing against them. One, they didn't make nearly enough, which they have such a bad habit of doing. They said they're making more of the Super Nintendo ones, which is great, but they have such a bad habit of not making enough supply for demand. I don't know what their deal with amiibos are. They never make enough of those either, but they never made enough, and no, they got ridiculous and stupid, and resellers made it all worse and everything. But they said they'll make more of the Super Nintendo, so that's great. But none of that's why I'm not picking one up, actually. The reason why I don't want to pick one up is because I want to get the PAL version, because I grew up in PAL land in Australia, and we had a really cool version. I don't want to like upset anyone by saying your version isn't cool, but I mean, I always preferred the way the Australian or PAL UK whatever carts looked compared to the American carts, and the way the system looked. It's all so much rounded and nicer. It looks like a toy. It looks like a something I'd have fun with. It's all bright and colorful. It's not purple buttons, it's colorful buttons. It just looks like something I'd sit down and play games on. I don't know, I just always, like even growing up, I thought that was such a cool looking system, and I always wanted to play it. I always wanted to play something on it. Like, yes, give me NBA Jam. Let me play NBA Jam on it. I was just so excited. But there's something about the bricky looking one that doesn't excite me as much. Even looking back retrospectively and looking at it now, I think the PAL, the UK version was a lot cooler. And I'm not going to pick one up in North America. I'm going to hold out and hopefully buy one. From Australia, preferably, somehow. I don't know how that's going to happen, because even right now, if I wanted one and I didn't care about where I got it from, I'm not competing with people online. I don't know what kind of life you expect me to lead that I can just be waiting around to get notified from Best Buy to, hey, you got 5 minutes to buy this thing, or else resellers are gonna buy 1,000 of them and hold your grandma at gunpoint and shoot your dog, because all those things are just as upsetting as what they're doing by buying out all these systems. I don't have that time. I don't have the time to sit around and wait, so I'm not gonna bother. Plus, I'm old school. I like walking into a store and giving a guy a little baggie of money and throwing it down on the table and being like, oh, sir, I would like to buy your finest Super Nintendo Classic, please, and chink this little bag of money on the table and go home with it on the day. I prefer that. I don't like pre-ordering. I've never liked pre-ordering. I started doing it when I was younger because I thought it was cool that I could pre-order a game and it had my name on it and I could go and get it whenever I wanted and I could pay it off slowly. And I'd walk into a store at midnight and everyone was like waiting around to like buy the game, and I stroll up to the counter like I've already paid for it, and they're behind the counter and they're like, "G'day, mate, you paid for the game already?" And I'm like, "Yeah, mate, like a week ago. It's mine." I don't know, I thought that was cool, but nowadays I hate pre-ordering. I hate it, and I think it's because the resellers have f***ed it up for everyone, because pre-ordering used to just be, hey, you paid it beforehand and you could walk in and pick it up when you were ready, and then you weren't pre-ordering just in case you couldn't get one. Like, it's a video game, of course you're gonna get one. They're not gonna run out of a video game, at least where I come from. But now it seems like you have to pre-order everything, because if you don't, you won't get it, because the other guys are pre-ordering 17,000 of them. My point in all of that was because I'm not gonna pre-order one, and I really, if I didn't care where I got one from, I really would be hoping that I would just walk into a Best Buy one day and be like, oh, there's a SNES Classic on the shelf that someone hasn't bought yet. I would like to purchase that, good sir. May you please remove that from the glass case so I can take that home and then put it in my back seat and drive home and go home and plug it in and be like, oh, I'm so happy I bought this today. I didn't expect to find one of these. Awesome. Not only is that not gonna happen, and I can see that not happening even if I wanted it to happen here, the fact that that's in Australia, the one that I want, is ridiculous. Like, I can't. What am I supposed to do? Book a flight and just walk into random stores and hope that I see one and, oh, well, this was a waste of a week? No, I don't know. I'm unless I get someone to buy one for me, and again, that's asking someone else to wait around online and try and buy me one so I can send them money. I'm not gonna ask someone to waste their time doing that. So maybe eventually one day, hopefully, I can get the PAL version, or maybe I'll just settle for a North American version if I ever come across it. Or I don't even know what's gonna happen. Like, it sucks because this thing literally got announced 2 days ago, and I want one. Like, I want one in my life, and I don't know if I will own one. Like, I'm 27 years old. I have money to spend on something I want that's being commercially released to the public, and I don't know if I can get one 2 days in. You know how ridiculous that is? Like, how stupid that is? I'm a freaking adult. I should be able to buy what I want. Stop taking things away from me, resellers. You're not my dad. You're not my mom. You can't confiscate things that I want. You can't take my games away when I've been naughty. I've been a little naughty, but you don't know that. Look, okay, well, I mean, all that aside, I talked about that for way longer than I wanted to. I wanted to touch real quickly on the actual NES Classic Mini SNES, Classic SNES Mini itself. Freaking badass. It's 20 bucks more than the NES, but I think that's worth it. It comes with an extra controller, and while that's not worth an extra 20 bucks, the game library is just stellar. Like, you can't deny the fact that this game library is stellar. Stellar. Pac-Man, like a lot of these games, Tecmo Bowl, you spend 10 minutes, 20 minutes, maybe throw down some games with a friend or two, and I don't know, that's really it. You don't really invest like 40 hours into any of those games like you do Earthbound or Final Fantasy 3 or Super Mario RPG, and then Mario Kart. Yeah, Mario Kart you can play for hours with friends. So quality, every single game on that list is a freaking hit, and you're gonna get way more hours out of it than you will that. But the biggest thing, apart from the stellar game library, the extra controller, resellers sucking, little Julie and Natalie crying because grandma's got a gun to her head from a reseller, or like all that aside, the fact that the Star Fox 2, that's awesome, guys. Like, I don't know how many of you are actually I realize the awesomenacity of that. Awesomenacity? Star Fox 2 was a game that was made for the Super Nintendo. I'm sure a lot of you know this. It was made for Super Nintendo, and it was finished, and it wasn't released because it was like all 3D and cool looking. So Nintendo was like, that game looks a little bit too cool, don't release that. The actual reason was because the N64 is like coming out really, really close to when that game was supposed to launch, and they wanted to clear the divide between 3D graphics and the 16-bit era. They wanted to say, hey, this is a new system that is 3D and there's nothing else that can do what this system does. So it wouldn't really make sense, I guess, if they, just before this is a cool system, nothing else can do what this does. But on our last system, we did the same thing. The game never got released, and then hackers online, hackermans online, found the ROMs, put them onto a thing, and then you could emulate them. I don't know how that works. I'm not a science man. But that you could play the game, but this is the first way that you can officially actually buy the game. Like the first time ever you can actually buy the game. Actually, you legally own this game, which is kind of cool. It's really crazy. And for most people, for like 99% of people, this is going to be the first time anyone's seen this game, anyone's played this game, anyone's learned about this game. Like most people, I feel like even most people in like retro gaming community, or at least a lot of people, might not even know this ever was a thing. Like might be just passed them by. Just the general public, this is going to be the first time they've seen and played this game. So that's really cool, and I like that concept a lot. Yeah, so anyway, to summarize, I wasn't going to do a video on this whole topic. I was going to leave it alone because, I don't know, everyone does it, everyone's doing it. When I found out, I woke up because so many people were Facebooking me, tweeting me, messaging me, inboxing me, and everything, like asking me to make videos, and that's why I made a video, because so many people wanted it, and that's cool that you guys want my opinion on it. But when I found out about it, I woke up and I was like, this is my train of thought. I woke up, I had like 1,000 messages about it. I was like, yeah, duh, and I'm probably not gonna get one because of resellers. Like that, it was so like anticlimactic. It was like the least exciting thing to think. When you see something that should be exciting, like someone like takes something that is just you, is just your entire life and childhood, and says, hey, I'm gonna give you this amazing thing that you grew up with, and it's gonna be mini and adorable, and it's gonna have your favorite games, and you can play it anytime you want on a HD. It's gonna look freaking awesome. These games are remastered. Oh, and there's Star Fox 2, a game that's never been officially released before, and you can play it for the first time and actually own this game, and it's gonna be everything that you've ever wanted in your entire life. But there's no way that you're gonna get your hands on one, because the resellers of the world are gonna steal every single pre-order. They're gonna pre-order 1,000 of them and then put them all on eBay for stupid amounts of prices. So if you want one, your best bet is to sacrifice a goat to the devil, make a pentagram thing, and burn some candles with a picture of Alpha Omega Sin behind you, and hopefully maybe the devil will arise from the ground and he will say, if you want a copy of the Super Nintendo, he's super American, this guy, if you want a copy of the Super Nintendo NES Classic, now he's like Jamaican or something, I'm not sure, you're gonna have to find 3 small children brutally. Anyway, it's cool, and I really, for everyone out there that wants this thing, everyone out there that whether it's gonna try and pick one up or already has one pre-ordered, that wants to play it either for themselves or to share an experience with their family, I really hope you manage to get your hands on one, and I really hope Nintendo makes enough supply this time for the high amount of demand. I really hope that every single reseller gets over by this. Like, I know reselling is just a thing. It's getting to the point where there's no point even complaining about it. It's honestly at the point now where no one even wants to hear about it because it's so tired. And it's not just in video games, it's in like concerts, like band tickets get resold instantly, like bought out and then sold for more than what they're worth. Probably other communities of things that I'm not involved with that do the same. Like resellers are everywhere, like freaking pottery. Like, I don't know. There's a new pot coming out and the pot resellers, that's a whole nother thing. And I mean, honestly, like if it came down to it and there was like some Joe next to me and he was all like, I was at the store and there was one left and he was with his little kid, his little like Craig, like I don't fuck a kid's name, I don't have a kid. And he's looking at me and Craig's looking at me and I'm looking at him and there's one left and the guy's like, well, I got man with the long hair, you were first if you want it. And Craig's all like, Daddy, does this mean I'm not gonna get to learn what Zeldies is? And I mean, obviously I'm gonna let the fucking guy have it. Like, I'm not gonna take it. At that point, like it's important. Like that's what I hate about the resellers, honestly. But that's all I have to say about this. I'm in a really weird mood today, if you guys can't tell. And I appreciate you guys watching. Remember to like this video. Leave a comment down below if you're not subscribed. Do it for the love of Zeldies. And hey, are you getting one of these? Have you already pre-ordered one? Have you managed to get one? Are you a reseller that already has bought a lot and you've watched this video and you felt insulted? Feel free to unsubscribe. But if you are getting one of these and you're excited for it, let me know in the comment section below. All of that stuff. You guys, I love y'all. And I always like to end my videos on a joke. For those of you who don't watch my videos, I've always ended a video on a knock knock joke. Like every single video I've ever done, I've always ended on a knock knock joke. So I'm gonna do one for you today. Knock knock. That's where you... Bye.